Hi, Star Fam. I'm here with another reading for the collective. Let's get some cards and figure out what the energy is today and what the Most High God wants us to know. I hope you're all doing good. Thanks for hanging in there. I release time and let the universe show me what to do. Maybe I should put this up here actually. Dwell cool. Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. I'm going to read that one because Dwell Cool is a very interesting being, and I think everyone would benefit from hearing a little bit more about him. I hadn't heard about him, and then I think I came across him mentioned with Theosophy, and just sounded like an intriguing person or being, and then when I got this oracle deck, Keepers of the Light Oracle cards by Kyle Gray and the artwork by Lily Moses, he was in this deck, and you see his card here. Alright. Dwell cool, Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Dwell cool, pronounced Dwal Cool, known as the Tibetan, is a Tibetan Buddhist master. He is said to have had many incarnations, including as a devotee of Buddha himself and as one of the 3 wise men who honored the baby Jesus. Through his earthly experiences, he has learned the importance of spiritual practice and discipline and knows that the path we are on unfolds over time. He is now helping light workers follow their dharma, which is a Sanskrit word meaning right way of living. So I used to think of dharma as like your field or career or your work, like the thing that you basically do in the matrix to make the world a better place. So this huge mission or part of your mission. But now I think of dharma more as just the path, like the general path that your soul wants to be on in this lifetime. So, I mean, I feel like maybe things like that have a personal resonance, but here it's defined as right way of living. Okay, then in the extended message it says, when Dwell Cool appears in a reading, he reminds you that your path is unfolding as it should. Take one step at a time and remember that your only spiritual function is to be happy. Which I think is really important, so I wrote that out and put that on my fridge. But take one step at a time and remember that your only spiritual function is to be happy. And I don't think, like, my interpretation of that is like, it's not just about your happiness or about what would make you happy in the moment, but when you're going through things and you're wondering, like, what does the universe want from me? What does God want from me? almost always the answer is for you to be your full self at your highest potential. So that's sort of like where you're trying to calibrate to, and where the universe like appreciates you as yourself. So that's what I think about when I think about this. Your only spiritual function is to be happy. Like when you're going through a difficult time, try to remember that what the universe is asking of you is just to do your best and be kind to yourself and others, and to let a lot of the low vibrational stuff go, because you're going to feel low vibrational stuff. You're going to experience it, you're going to think it, whatever, but just like let it go, and try to recalibrate. I think that's the main work of spiritual life, is recalibration, like to return to something, the highest version or the highest vibration. Okay, so it says, you are a powerful person with many lessons under your belt and a real capacity to share your wisdom with the world. So this is like, he's a guide to light workers. So if you're a light worker or a starseed, this is a message for you. Take the time to go over what you have learned recently, recognize the strengths it has brought you, and acknowledge where you have been courageous. Dwell Cool is now working with your angel guides to help your journey unfold like a beautiful lotus flower, one petal at a time. When I was learning about him, it seemed to me that Dwell Cool was one of the spirit guides that comes into your life at certain times to guide you along certain parts of your path. So for me, I was interested in Rainbow Light Body at the time, and so when I was introduced to him and I started getting to know more about him, it seemed to me that that's the kind of guide he was. Like, he would sort of show up for, like, if you were going on like a monk path, or like a spiritual retreat path, or you were having a time of like deepening your spirituality, or maybe getting into like energy healing or something like that. He would be one of the guides that would come and would walk with you and work with your spirit guides and you along that part of your path. And then, I don't know if he would stay with you for the rest of your life. I'm not really sure how that works. But like when the job is done, he moves on to mentor other spirit beings. So if this is your first time hearing about Dwell Cool, it might be your invitation to get to know him more. Air. Breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life-breathing energies. Whoops. Let's read about that. 26. I hope that everybody watching in Starfam Collective is doing well. I hope you guys are healthy, happy, wealthy, and wise. And if you're not, that it's on its way to you and to all of us. I think like it's really weird to be living in a period of time where the black sheeps are stepping into their higher selves and slowly inheriting the earth, It's crazy. Like, I remember a few years ago I read that Chinese, I think it's a proverb, and it said, may you live in interesting times, but it's kind of like a curse. And I think like over the last few years we're really seeing that in real time. Like, it is interesting, definitely, on Earth right now. think too, like as we forge a new path ahead, we have to remember like a lot of the work has been done for us in the past. We just have to rediscover it, you know? We have to remember. Okay, I'm just gonna read the divination meaning of this card, air. So it says, breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life-bringing energies. You have the capacity to take nourishment and oxygen in far more deeply than you are allowing yourself at present. It is time to introduce the idea of breathing far, far more deeply and of holding the breath so that you know you are safe and traveling into areas where you have not been before. Interesting. The ability to breathe deeply and to swim underwater will encourage you to believe in your own courage and potential and develop your lung capacity. Give yourself time in a place renowned for air that is pure, nourishing, exhilarating. Smells, scents, sounds, all carried on the air, enter into you. Drink in life. Breathe deep and fill yourself with the essence of life. So what's that's giving me is that because it is good to take in more oxygen, but you can also take in too much oxygen and make yourself feel sick. So I think what the air card is encouraging the Star Fam Collective or someone in the Star Fam Collective to do is to use air as a source of your nourishment as well as like food and stuff. So just like you need water and food, and sometimes your needs for that increase, like you may have more thirst or be more dehydrated, so you need more water. This card is suggesting that you get more air or more oxygen, and the tip was to find a place where the air feels really clean and fresh. So if you have like a park or you have like a shoreline or you have a countryside or you know, you can take some kind of safe walk with a friend at night. Any time that you can get away to a place that has cleaner air, and while you're there, deepen your breath a little. So maybe slow it down, hold the inhalations. There's the classic 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 out, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in, right? So you could try that. If you're new to, I was gonna say if you're new to breathing, but that's not what I meant. I think I meant if you're new to breath work or any kind of conscious deepening of your breath. And then there's also the message about more oxygen. So maybe there could be something potentially wrong with the air quality where you are, or maybe it's a time in your life where that's becoming more important to you, and so you are looking for ways to spend more time in areas that have cleaner air, or maybe you're going to become a clean air advocate, like who knows, right? But so far our cards are, I release time and let the universe show me what to do. Dwal Kul Dharma unfolding. Because remember that you are on a path, take one step at a time to happiness, and that's another great message that has to do with Dwal Kul. And that card is to understand that things in life happen in small stages a lot of the time. Like if you have a big goal, to get to the big goal, you don't usually just jump right to it. Usually you might have like 10 smaller goals that you have to accomplish on the sort of climb to the bigger goal. But the Dwal Kul message is that it's unfolding right before you as you're going, and like you're making your own way on your own path, and you just have to focus on where you are on the path right now in order to feel happy and find satisfaction that way. And then with the air, breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life bringing energies. You might be entering into a new phase in your life where air or breath is more important, like I said. So maybe you're becoming more concerned with air quality, or maybe you just want to get into like savoring the outdoors more, where the air is cleaner or has more oxygen or more ions or something. Or maybe it's like a breathwork thing. So maybe you're new to like meditation or yoga or breath work. Maybe that's something that you're interested in but you've never tried, and this is telling you that as your path is unfolding, and the universe is showing you what to do, your breath may be playing a part in that, or the air quality may be playing a part in that, but maybe someone in the collective is going to explore that avenue of the physical self more than they have previously. So if you're thinking about getting into something like that, this card might be encouraging you to do that. Learn about it, give it a try. God, can you give us a card? Thank you. Alright, this one's Spirit Guides. I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. What I like about this card is that the spirit guide is like, that's how my higher self feels to me, like just sort of up and to the back. And then this I think of as the soul star. I'm not sure if it is the soul star, but that's what I think of this one as. And then she's the human, the incarnated human whose spirit guide or higher self this is holding something in her hand. It looks like a butterfly or a flower or crystal. I'm not sure. Yeah. But it's just kind of cool. It's like a chain of guidance and contact, and as she's exploring what's tangible in the 3D world, she has this spirit guide of this higher self version of her that's above her in the spirit world, like overlooking her, almost like embracing her energetically and guiding her and staying in touch with her through this, what looks to be a chakra to me. Chakra, star chakra, something like that. Spirit guides. I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Guardian angels, spirit guides, and your higher self form part of a spiritual support system that can help guide and protect you through difficult stages of your life, but you need to acknowledge their presence by inviting them into your life. You have free will and they cannot interfere unless you request assistance from them. What I've heard is that angels can interfere without your permission in life-threatening situations, but other than that, most of your spirit family, your spirit guides, do follow that policy of, unless you ask them for help, they sort of leave you alone. Well, it's not that they leave you alone, they're there in the spirit world, but they just give you the space to make your own choices and do what you want, and then they'll occasionally reach out and try to talk with you or guide you. But it's up to you if you want to engage in that relationship, if you want to build a relationship with someone in the spirit world, whether it's an angel or an ancestor or whoever. It is important to connect to and thank your guides regularly, building up a relationship with them. Learn to read the signs and messages they share with you. Your questions to them may be answered in ways you might not expect. They can come through situations of synchronicity, through friends or family, or through a book or object you are drawn to. Signs of their presence are often feathers, butterflies, or birds. Be open and aware of these signs, and soon you will understand their meanings. Be patient and understand that the help you seek will come to you at the right time. Trust in divine timing. The more you work with your guides, the easier it will become to recognize the ways in which their love and guidance is shown to you. Try not to contact your guides only when you want something from them. Regularly connect with them and show your love and gratitude. I mean, it's up to you. Like, some people don't like to deal with the spirit world, or, I mean, it can be very freaky and scary. Different aspects of it and things and beings you're not familiar with can be pretty shocking. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. 80% of the spirit world or more is pretty weird and different from what we're told is normal, but that doesn't make it bad. And there is negative stuff, there is dark stuff, evil stuff in the spirit world, but hopefully you'll stay away from that stuff, because it's kind of like, you know, what crowd are you hanging out with? You want to hang out with a crowd of people who are good people and you can trust and they have your back. Well, it's the same with spirit beings in the spirit world, right? And like, I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, but I believe everybody that's born has a spirit team of spirit guides, and they might be a variety of different types of beings, but their purpose in being your guides and your team is to help you accomplish whatever missions and lessons you have in each of your incarnations, right? Basically, you're all working on the same job together. Gotta get that job done. Yeah. But so you have two spirit guide cards, and air. I guess the air card could also represent spirit. So maybe right now what's happening is it's a period of guidance, and the Star Fam Collective is being urged to work with their guides, and if you're not interested in spirit guides, you don't have to work with them. They'll just wait until you're ready to work with them, and if you're never ready to work with them, that's fine. But if you are ready to work with your spirit guides, this is telling you to be open, I think, you know. But I would say, like, you have to have discernment, obviously. So, and it depends on your belief system. Like, some people would love to contact the collective consciousnesses of, like, alien species, and other people would only want to talk to their grandmother's spirit, and other people would only want to talk to, like, somebody famous, like an ascended master, and other people would only want to talk to, like, an archangel or somebody more historic from a way long time ago. I think it just depends. Alright, so I got peace is in my pulse. Let's get one more. Most High God, can you please give the Star Fam Collective a message card? Thank you. Alright. The moment I begin to celebrate myself and focus on my successes is the moment I begin living. So, this is making me think that in addition to listening to spiritual guidance from your spirit guides, or the universe, or the Most High God, or even just your higher self, or like listening to yourself in a place of peace, what I'm getting so far is that you're starting a new part of your path. Something new is unfolding, some new part of your path is is unfolding, moving forward for you, opening up to you. And your guides are going to help you through that if you want them to. Again, you should be the one making the free will choice, whether to call on your guides, whether to build a relationship with them or not. That's up to you and your free will. So I wouldn't tell anybody just you should do that. I think you should do it, but that doesn't mean you should do it. It's up to you. You have to choose for yourself whether you want to talk with your spirit guides or whether you don't. Whether you want to listen to what they're trying to show you and tell you or whether you don't. And that's okay. Either way, it's fine. But I think there's a new part on the path, and you're walking it one step at a time. It's unfolding. You're learning something new. You're moving into a different phase, a different experience of your life, your timeline, whatever. And the advice is to do it slowly and to take one step at a time and to enjoy the journey and don't get overwhelmed. Like, if you feel overwhelmed, you should find that peace within. You should savor those breaths, calm those breaths. You should turn to your guides if that's what you need, or turn to God if that's what you need. And be in the moment. So the moment I begin to celebrate myself and focus on my successes, so this is obviously talking about ones you've already had, things you've already done, right? So not just the past or the now, but the parts of your journey that came before, the things that you went through before. Celebrate that you got through them. And in the now, on this part of your journey, go slow, take good care of yourself, experience peace. Peace is in your pulse, it's right there for you. Breathe, remember to breathe, deepen your breath. If you're curious about things like breath work, or you're thinking about stepping into a new phase of something like that, give it a try. Whoops. Shuffle it again. Okay. And then when I feel blocked, emotionally distressed, or overwhelmed, I turn to my breath. Good stuff. Okay. How are we doing for time? These always go so long. All right, I'm going to try to get you a few more messages. Let's get an angel number. 23. The Ascended Masters are helping you keep the faith. They're with you right now and are available to you as you ask for their assistance. Let's get an animal medicine card. Can you give us an animal medicine card? Oh, deer. Deer. Let me put it. Let's start a fire. You see that? from Charlie. Charlie's got it. Okay. Deer. Alright, I'm just going to skip to the end. But this is a really good deck. This is my oldest deck, so if you're interested in the animal medicine cards, I think they've reissued them a couple times since I got them, but yeah, you should check them out. Okay, if Deer has gently nudged its way into your cards today, you are being asked to find the gentleness of spirit that heals all wounds. Stop pushing so hard to get others to change and love them as they are. I would say what David Wilcock said, which was love with boundaries. That's what you do. You love with boundaries. And then you let people be who they are. But your boundaries are there to protect you from the negative parts of who people are. Apply gentleness to your present situation and become like the summer breeze, warm and caring. This is your tool for solving the present dilemma you are facing. If you use it, you will connect with Sacred Mountain, your centering place of serenity, and Great Spirit will guide you. So the general message of Deer is gentleness. Deer teaches us to use the power of gentleness to touch the hearts and minds of wounded beings who are trying to keep us from Sacred Mountain. Yeah. I think forgiveness is important. I think boundaries are important. You can have both. You can be loving and kind and still not hang out with people who are hurtful. Okay. Let's get some Osho Zen. Aloneness. Clinging to the past, but it's reversed. Experiencing, reversed. Postponement, reversed. Success. Isn't that bright? One more, please. Oh, there's two. Breakthrough and playfulness in reverse. Okay. What can this mean? Messages are so weird. I have to say, like, I don't do readings for myself too often, but I used to do a lot of readings for myself. And very rarely do readings for myself make zero sense. But it does happen once in a while, and you're just confused, and you just keep pulling cards after cards, and then eventually, at least I usually give up and say, okay, I don't know. I don't know what this is trying to say. I don't know what Spirit's trying to tell me. I can't figure this out. But most of the time when you do readings for yourself, you're like, yeah, I know. Yep, that's that. Yep, I know. But I have to say, when I do these collective readings, not when I do readings for individuals, like one-on-one readings, like personal readings, but when I do these for the collective intranet readings, a lot of times they don't make any sense. Like, the oracle makes a lot of sense, but the tarot and the message cards don't really make much sense to me. And then once in a while it makes sense, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it means this, and this. But generally speaking, I never know what's going on. It's kind of like I'm on the adventure too. I don't have a handle on the big picture. Like, I'm looking at the minutia, and it doesn't make much sense because I don't know what the big picture is. But that's why I think I really like using the oracle cards too, because they give you like a general message. Like it's pretty clear that this general message is about being on your path, working with your guides, and focusing on your own peace in the now and your own breath, really. Okay, let's get a couple more for aloneness. So aloneness, the miser, isolation, clinging to the past, reversed. What is clinging to the past mean, God? What does it mean? Whoa. Alright, the Fool in reverse. So clinging to the past, okay, maybe I'll just start with the first row. So the first row is aloneness, the miser, and isolation. That's pretty self-explanatory. Someone, whether someone in the collective, someone the collective is dealing with, or the collective as a whole, has been dealing with aloneness and dealing with people who are greedy and selfish and perhaps keeping resources from them, or limiting the resources someone in the collective can have, or something like that. And then isolation is this card. So it's frozen and feeling trapped and all that, but he's crying. So the message is that he's starting to thaw. So there might have been a situation in the past. I'm getting this as past. There might have been a situation in the past where I'm trying to think what it's not isolation, what's it called? Yeah, I'm getting a feeling of like exile. So basically wandering alone or feeling alone or having to do things alone, or not having the support from others that should have been there. But this period of being frozen and cold and isolated and trapped is changing, because the tears are him melting, right? So it's change. Then we have clinging to the past reversed. So, and this is just a card that talks about clinging to the past, carrying around your box of random junk from the past, of memories of this, that, and the other, and it being this huge burden that's blocking your vision in the now. This is reversed, so that's not happening. I think it's a period of letting go, or at least releasing your grip on what happened in the past in order to move on to the next phase of something good. Then we have the Fool in reverse, which would usually mean the opposite. Like you're not, like, because the Fool in the upright is a new beginning. You know, the ability to trust and go with it, and this is in reverse. So maybe what's happened is there is a need to let go of the past, or the past has been let go, or the past is being let go. And what I'm getting is some kind of insecurity about the future, not knowing if you're getting a new beginning, or not feeling the new beginning coming, or something like that. And that is affecting the trust as well. Then we also got consciousness, which is about, you know, your consciousness. So it could be raising your consciousness, tuning into your consciousness. The fact that your consciousness is a factor in it too, because we often get really hung up in the 3D. Then we have projections, and a whole bunch came out. Comparison, the outsider, and flowering. So what this is telling me is that these three cards all talk about others, your relationship, viewing your relationship with yourself through your relationships with others. So we have projections, not really seeing each other accurately. We have comparison, the oak, I think it's an oak, the oak and the bamboo comparing themselves to each other, but they're both great in different ways, so it's kind of silly. And outsider, which is feeling like you're not part of the gang or not included, feeling locked out on the outside. But this card talks about how the lock isn't done up. If you can see, the lock isn't done up, so you're not really locked out. You just feel as though you're locked out. So what I'm thinking here, and then flowering. So what I'm thinking here is that someone in the collective has been dealing with other people affecting their view of themselves, and that has trapped them in I would say that has forced them into isolation or exile or being overly independent or whatever. And trapped them in a cycle of clinging to the past, but that is now over. And maybe when there was more clinging to the past, right? Because like that could have been what was happening in the past. Maybe you were going over and over and over everything in your mind, trying to figure it out. Like, why am I not getting the support that I should have from the people around me, or my field, or like my community or whatever. And now you've sort of moved past that, you're into the next phase, you're letting go of that. That's no longer affecting your ability to move forward and have a fresh start, because you've used your consciousness, which is sort of like that Buddha moment, right? Where you realize there's more to the universe than whatever minutia you were focusing on, like whatever little details of the 3D that you were having in your face, you were overly focused on, whatever it was. It was almost like a distraction from you having this moment of consciousness where you were like, whoa, I'm part of the bigger picture, and I'm an eternal soul, and I can master my own inner self and whatever else. And then once you had this moment, or these moments, or you went through this experience, and now you're in the new phase where you are post-Buddha moment, post-consciousness moment, you see that, I think it was this, you see that this stuff, these were just illusions of comparison and feeling like an outsider, and this is what was standing in the way of you flowering, and the flowering card is the Empress. So this was what was standing in the way, you comparing yourself to other people and being caught up in the loop of the past and of feeling isolated and of comparing yourself to others or whatever. That was blocking you from this Empress, flowering, creative, being your full self kind of energy. And once you had that Buddha moment of consciousness, you're moving on. So maybe Joelle Kuhl was assisting you in that phase where you were, like for me personally, he came into my life as a spirit guide, as a ascended master, at the point in my life where I was changing from being like focused on the material world. Like, I'm still focused on the material world, obviously I'm alive and everything, but the transition period between when my main focus was the material world and then I transitioned to have more of a focus on the spiritual world, that was the time when I was when I came across him, and I like started learning about him, and then I got these cards, and he was in the cards, and just became sort of like a guide, a mentor, whatever. But it was during that part in my life when he sort of came into my life. So maybe someone in the collective has just gone through a period in the last couple years or months of their life where they're transitioning from one phase of their life that was more focused on the material, and now they're more focused on the spiritual. So you might be having Joelle Kuhl or other spirit guides step forward in your life in order to provide like role models or mentorship or guidance or something to you as you're embarking on this next phase of your life, which is going to be an Empress flowering phase. Okay. God, what is experiencing reversed? What does that mean? So normally experiencing talks about sort of going out of, I guess, your comfort zone or whatever, out into the world and experiencing other beings like trees, plants, people, whatever. So it's sort of your energy and other people's energy or beings' energy meeting each other, right? But in the reverse, maybe that means that you were having difficulty doing that in the past. Not necessarily doing this with nature, but maybe you were having difficulty doing it with other humans, maybe your family or your coworkers or your friends or the people around you. You were having difficulty connecting with them, bonding with them, having that energy exchange that feels harmonious and good, like symbiosis. That's symbiotic. I think so. That symbiotic experience of I'm giving to you, I'm sharing with you, you're giving to me, you're sharing with me, we're blending our energy, we're creating this even greater thing, very positive. But it's in the reverse, so maybe that was something that was missing from your life. You didn't have a lot of that with other people or the other beings. And I guess if you're feeling isolated or you're feeling cut off from resources or support, that it's very possible that you didn't have a lot of opportunities in the last little while of your life to really merge your energy in a mutual positive way like that with lots of other people. And then following that is understanding where the bird sees that it can leave the cage and it flies out. And the dream where the woman is imagining like a great romance, like getting swept up into a romance. But I think also this dream card can mean like if you didn't have a lot of friends or your family wasn't supportive or something, you might have had a dream of that version of your family where they are supportive, where they are loving, or your friends where they are there for you, or you do have a close mutual positive reciprocal relationship. So maybe that's what you're going to experience going forward, is not being held back or trapped by a longing to connect with, or a longing to have an imaginary relationship that's better than the one that you currently have with people. Like maybe your people aren't there, or maybe your family is one that you build yourself instead of be born into, or maybe if you were trying to say have career success in a field, maybe, and you wanted to be part of a field or work with people in a field and they weren't up to that kind of partnership or whatever, maybe you got into the habit of like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I was part of this, if I had that mutual experiencing energy with this group of people or whatever. And maybe that wishing for that was keeping you trapped. And so now that you're moving into this new phase of your life, you don't need to pine for that anymore. You might be moving on to something better, something that could be real, like maybe the people at your work didn't appreciate you, but maybe in your future you'll start your own business and you'll draw in people to you who are of a similar vibe to you, and that's how you'll find it. Or maybe you'll move to a different company and it will be like a less toxic work environment, and so that's where you'll be able to be seen and appreciated and whatever. Okay, postponement, reverse. So whatever you're putting off or longing for in the future, you're not doing that anymore, can see the girl is like in this gray world looking out at this colorful world that she hopes to join one day, but right now she can't. That's reversed, so you're not doing that anymore. You have completion. So whatever phase of your life of longing to be somebody else or with some other version of whoever was making you feel isolated and all that, being a miser to you or whatever, that phase of longing to join that is over. It's completed, and then we have existence. So you're a starseed. You're bound for bigger things than trying to get someone to share with you who doesn't want to share. That doesn't mean that no one will want to share with you. There might be somebody out there that would want to share with you, who you would enjoy sharing with more, but that might not be who is in your past or who's in your recent present. Okay, success. Success is mind. Totality. So totality means giving yourself to the experience fully, letting go and trusting, sort of similar to the first card, I release time and let the universe show me what to do. So maybe the success is coming after conquering this arguing and noise in your mind and giving yourself fully to the now, to this part of your journey, perhaps a new beginning, a new part of the path. All right, what about breakthrough? Celebration. Ooh. The Master and receptivity. So the breakthrough for the Star Fam Collective appears to be having fun, celebrating, mastering yourself, and being receptive to the universe. It's pretty great. All right, let's do the last row. So the last row is playfulness in reverse. What do you mean by playfulness? Oops. What do you mean by playfulness in reverse? Okay. Friendliness and silence. So what I'm getting from this is that maybe in the past your ability to be playful was being thwarted. Maybe you even felt like you couldn't be yourself in the situation you were in, dealing with whoever you were dealing with. And what's happening now in this new phase is that you're gonna make some actual friends. You're gonna, now, as a Scorpio, I have to do a PSA that is like, trust no one ever. But at the same time that I have to say trust no one ever in order to feel like I'm looking out for you guys, giving you good advice, I would also say that life is very long and it can be very lonely, and you can be friendly and you can even make a friend or two in the world that won't screw you over, that won't have bad intentions for you, that won't mean you harm. And I know because I've been a good friend to a few different people in my lifetime, and even when I'm mad at them or like I have a moment of being like, oh my god, I hate that person, it's not lasting. It's more just frustration, and it passes, and what's left is loyalty and love. So I mean, I'm not perfect, and definitely I've been the kind of friend that doesn't reach out enough. But I have to say, like, I have truly loved and supported some of my friends very, very well, or at least to the best of my ability. So I do think that it is possible to find a good person who will be a good friend to you. I think that is definitely possible on Earth. You just have to take a while. It takes a long time, really, to see who people are. And so in the meantime, you have to keep boundaries and you have to protect yourself. You can't be giving people your heart and all your private information and just opening the door to your life to them. You just can't. It's just not safe to do that. But once you've known somebody for a while and they've proven to you that they're a trustworthy person and that they have good intentions towards you, but they have to prove it and it takes time, then I would say it's safe to open up a little anyway. And then silence. I think the silence card means that you're going to intuitively feel what is the right long-term path for you to take and what choices to make in the now. Like, I feel like your intuition is going to be super important in this new phase of your life, in this new part of your path that you're embarking on. So yes, definitely go out in the world, be a little friendly, and if you manage to be a little friendly and make a friend here or there, let them show you who they are over time. Don't be in a hurry to give your love and your heart away. You can share your love, but I would always say, like, use discernment, keep your cards close to your chest, and let people in a little bit at a time. But doing that, there's nothing wrong with being friendly. There's nothing wrong with being kind and loving towards the rest of the people on the planet. And you never know, once in a while you make a real friend, and that's pretty special. Okay, so what else? I'm going to get you a herbiary card. Okay. God, can you give us a herbiary card for the collective to sign out this reading on? I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I just think it's great that you're watching this. I really do. I love readings, and I do them a lot for myself and for my close friends and for a couple of clients, but it's completely different to do a reading for total strangers and just send it out into the universe. Honestly, I'm pretty shy, so it's pretty hard for me to do it, but I enjoy them so much. It's so nice to just resonate with other light workers. So I'm hoping that through this process I can give back a little bit that I've gotten from all my psychic mentors and stuff, and that I can help God get his message out there to any light worker who comes across it, wondering, like, what the F is going on down here and why are we going through this crazy stuff. It's good just to be able to touch base with each other and let each other know, like, yeah, no, crazy stuff is happening, and the guidance is good. Stay grounded, work on yourself. Like, don't think that you're completely alone down here, because you're not. I mean, it's kind of a, honestly, it's kind of a, we're all in it together. All the light workers are in this thing together, and strange times, interesting times, but we have eternal souls. So at the end of the day, we'll make it through. If we can help and support each other, that is the very best thing. We can all be different points on a giant crystal grid. Okay. Integration Mullen. Mullen appears where she's needed and has trouble staying where she's not. Because of her penchant for moving about, over the years she's learned quite a bit about quite a bit, making her a wise guide on any journey. Mullen brings multifaceted understandings into alignment with each other, easily building intellectual bridges between seemingly disparate or disjointed things, because her gift is seeing the structure of the whole. She'll sing the relationship of bone to water or air to skin in a way that makes you wonder how you never saw those patterns for yourself. Call on Mullen when you need a torch in the darkness or an overview of the whole so you can understand the parts. Wow. Really deep. Okay. So, one last thing I'm going to do. Oh, you know what? Two last things. All right, let's get a beast. Kangaroo. See? All right. If kangaroo is your core beastie, you are naturally resourceful. Kangaroo, warriorhood, adaptability, devotion, and gentleness. So, Kangaroo is here to teach you about perseverance. She invites you to use her family's motto, I am willing. These 3 words can call unseen and kindly forces to your aid. I am willing to blank, and then in brackets it says, nurture others, fight for my opportunities, endure periods of strife, show up with integrity. Kangaroo is also a wonderful beastie for manifesting change because she can teach you how to be continuously creative. Okay, so the aligning affirmations are, let your creation out of the bag, release early, share now, nurture as independence expands, go fast, give it your all, go at high velocity, expedite, engage your warrior. When it's your moment, when it counts, stand up for good. And the chakra is the solar plexus. And creativity, it says, like kangaroo, you can be continuously creative, getting one project completed after another. All you need to do is nurture them daily. So yeah, I think there is someone in the collective, or the collective as a whole, going through a new phase on the path. And hopefully this message has reached you and you're doing great. I'm just going to pull a rune and then I'm going to release you to the wild like a beautiful bird. God, I think B is Bjork, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Bjork. It means new beginnings, birth, and marriage. Okay. Okay, this was here. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this reading and have a terrific day. Okay, bye.